NASCAR at Phoenix, not for the championship race, for just a normal, regular race. And what do you want me to say? I don't know what you guys want. It's Phoenix. Like, when was the last time we had a banger at Phoenix? It's just not. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. Yeah. Sad. But does that mean this race was bad? No. And that's the thing, guys. That's the thing. I was scouring Twitter a lot throughout this race, just to see the opinions of whether it be media personalities, whether it be you guys. Like, what I do, guys, is I go on like really the popular tweets, and then I go to the replies, and I kind of just go look at the replies a lot, and I'm like, all right, because that can give me kind of a gist of what the majority of people are thinking as well. A lot of people were really not happy with this race, but the thing is like, I don't really know if you can complain that much, because there's a few things. One, you know what you're getting into. Like, we kind of knew what this race was going to be. So instead of just complaining about it, you really should get on NASCAR about it, because NASCAR comes to Phoenix. This is the first time in this calendar year, this year, that we have seen this new short track package. And it's not really that new. It's like a few little minor changes, but it's basically the same thing. Horsepower is the same. Everything is the same mostly. Different tire compounds and everything, but not that much different in terms of the actual aero package. And as you could see by the race, it didn't really make that much of a difference. Did it make a very minute, small, maybe net gain? Maybe. Is it something that you could genuinely see on track, like visibly see? Not really. Hi, Sky. Thank you very much. I'm trying to record. I'm trying to record, Sky. Can I record, please? You sleep this whole race, and then as soon as the race ends, you decide to cause a mess. Are you serious? I'm trying to talk to the people that love you, but I can't talk about the race if you're going to bark and growl like this, like a little baby. Do you understand that? You're being like the NASCAR fans now. You're crying and complaining for no reason. Now you're gonna rest? Okay, he's resting now, guys. He's resting. But that's the thing about this race is that it was just a normal race, and this microphone is not staying like I want it to. I can't wait to get back to Orlando. I'm literally gonna have to hold it like this, guys. I'm gonna talk like, is it like the boxing people that like hold the microphone like this? I'm gonna have to literally hold it like this if I want to get anything, decent, honestly. Yeah, this race was just a normal race. It was a normal Phoenix race. There's nothing wrong with that. Can I talk, please? Can I talk? It was a normal Phoenix race. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not like, we can't get out of the back of our mind that this racetrack should not be hosting a championship race. If you're in my camp, there shouldn't be a championship race anyways, but day by day, year by year, I slowly lose hope that it's ever going to change. I have hope that one day we will not have a single championship race anymore. But for now, I think the more likely move is that it wouldn't be hosted at one track all the time, but there would still be a championship race. But this track doesn't deserve it. It's just NASCAR put a lot of money into the facilities. I was there in 2021. I've seen the facilities, and I can compare it to other tracks, and yeah, it's really nice. Like, it genuinely is really, really nice. So I can understand why they want to have the championship race there and for fan engagement, for facilities wise, but it's just, you're never gonna get that great of a race. And in my opinion, it doesn't matter where the racetrack is, wherever the championship race is, it's never going to be what people expect a championship race to be, because you're putting so much expectation on one normal race. The championship race is nothing different than all the other races on the calendar. It's just that you have 4 guys in a field of 40 going for the championship by whoever finishes highest out of the 4 of them. There's nothing special about it. So the expectations of that race to be great is never really going to happen. In terms of this race, it's just, another normal race. There's really nothing else to... I mean, we're going to talk about the details of the race, but the overall gist of it is that it's just normal. It's not bad. It's not good. It's not, like, nothing to get crazy about. And I don't think there's anything to really fix it, because you can add more horsepower, and I think that would help, but I don't think it would change drastically in terms of the product of the racing. We kind of saw what it was today, that one thing I did see was that, you see by the race winner, obviously, final restart of the race, he's restarting in 20th, and he wins the race. So obviously that's not normal when it comes to short track racing. But that 20 car, Christopher Bell, was lights out fast. And yes, some strategy played his way, but God, he still went from 20th to first in the final restart. That was spectacular, like absolutely spectacular to see Bell drive his way up through the field. He was so much faster than the rest of the field, and he was able to pass. And I think it's because he had so much center speed that he was able to really just cut through the air or go to a lower part of the track where he didn't have to even deal with it. If he went high, he wasn't following someone, he was able to get the run through the corner, get off the corner, and just go low. So he basically didn't have to worry about dirty air that much because he was able to run any line he wanted to, get the run he wanted to through the center of the corner, and be able to always kind of avoid that dirty air. That's the one thing about Phoenix that's good, is that when it is hot and slick, you can run high, you can run low, you can get out of the dirty air. I think one of the reasons why this car works really well at intermediate tracks like Las Vegas, tracks like, let's say, Charlotte, because this car does work kind of well at Charlotte, tracks like Kansas, tracks like Darlington, is that you can actually move around. Even at Darlington, you can move around, not in 1 and 2, but in 3 and 4 you obviously can. You can move around, find a different line, and you know, it works. But at short tracks, Phoenix, Richmond, Martinsville, Bristol, especially Martinsville and Bristol, it's usually one lane, and you can't get out of the dirty air, which is why this car struggles so much in it. So, you know, I can kind of understand what this car is doing, and why it behaves better at intermediates, and it sucks at short tracks. I can kind of get it. And would horsepower fix that? I don't know. I'm kind of rambling on, but back to the race. Bell, fastest car of the race, but he didn't really dominate the race. He didn't qualify well, so he had to work his way up. It took 150 laps for him to really get in a solid track position state. I think it wasn't until like lap 140 when he kind of cracked the top 3, I think it was. And that's when he was able to, you know, then he got the track position. He was able to hold on until later in the race when it kind of flipped, but we'll get that later on. Early on in the race, the guys who qualified up front stayed up front, including the 2 Chevys of William Byron and Chase Elliott, but today was all about Toyota. All 100% about Toyota. My boy, I don't want to call him my boy, Ty Gibbs, but the guy I'm believing in, I'm telling you, he was leading early on in this race. I was like, ooh, Ty Gibbs, he might get the stage win. No. Late in stage 1, Tyler Reddick is able to run him down. Now you can see that even in that battle, Reddick was never able to actually follow Ty Gibbs. You always had to go somewhere that they weren't. It's kind of like I think it's kind of been accepted now in terms of NASCAR racing. Like, you just simply can't follow another driver when you get within 4/10 of them, and that's kind of a shame, because that's not the NASCAR I grew up with, and it really it hinders what like the racing can be when you just simply can't follow the guy in front of you. You just have to go to a line that is different. It sucks. It genuinely sucks. So the whole goal is to be able to get the guys to follow each other, because if you get the drivers to follow each other, they have more opportunities to make the pass. And it's just simply impossible right now. It doesn't matter what track you go to, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Darlington, Kansas, like, you just simply can't follow. You have to get out of that wake of air, no matter what speed you're going, unless it's Daytona and Talladega and Atlanta, because you have to actually follow. You just have to get out of that wake of air, and that's just it just simply is not the NASCAR that I grew up with, and unfortunately, it's become a custom. It's become the norm, and I've kind of accepted it, which is why I don't get upset with average races, because I believe this was an average race. I don't get upset with average races like this. So the Toyotas are dominating, doing extremely well, and then late in the race, you know, I thought Tyler Reddick might have the fastest car. Tyler Reddick and Denny Hamlin were fighting most of the race, but we never saw Bell until like the second half of the race, when he was able to get his track position, and that once Bell was there, lost a few spots because of pit road incidents, lost spots in track position wise because of the late race cautions, not late race cautions, but the early third stage cautions that then flipped the field in terms of strategy. And so we never really saw Bell be able to dominate, but that last one was spectacular. Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick battling for the lead. This eliminates Denny Hamlin as he gets loose underneath Reddick and spins himself. That was a mistake that was rare to see from Denny Hamlin, but not a surprise. These cars are always on edge. That's the weird thing with this car, is that the cars are tough to drive, but they provide so much dirty air. It's just, I don't get it. This car is very weird at short tracks, in my opinion. But Denny Hamlin's out of the race because of that. Never able to really make up the track position back. He does get close to the top 10, but he was never able to get, you know, to be able to compete for the win. He was not going to be able to do that. And then, so this causes like the cautions, right? There's another incident with Joey Logano getting wrecked by, I don't want to get it wrong, but I think it was Michael McDowell. But he gets turned by accident heading into turns 1 and 2, and that causes another wreck. And there was like 2 to 3 cautions back to back in the early part of the final stage, which flipped the running order of the field because tires actually mattered. Shout out Goodyear. So that's the thing. NASCAR and Goodyear are doing some things that work. For example, fall off. This new tire that NASCAR brought had a lot of fall off. Whether it be 5 laps or 10 laps, you really wanted to come down pit lane and get new tires, even if it was like a 10-lap run, where in previous years, a 10-lap run at Phoenix meant nothing. You just stay out, you keep your track position, you be okay. But with this tire, 10-lap run, a little bit different. You actually do want to come down pit lane. You do want to get fresh tires. There were guys in the back half of the field that came down pit lane really early, and then with another caution coming out like 3 laps later, 4 or 5 laps later, then the front runners decided to come down pit lane because of the way the fuel strategy worked. You can make it to the end on fuel, and so it flipped the field. So guys like Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs, the strong Toyotas, they were kind of put back in the pack. Were they able to get up through the front? Were they able to get up there? And the question for the Toyotas was yes. The question for the Chevys was no. William Byron and Chase Elliott restart outside the top 20. And let me take a look at where they finished, but they never made it out. William Byron 18th, Chase Elliott 19th. Never made it out. But you can't use the excuse of, oh, you can't pass in this car. The winner of the race restarted 20th and finished in first. So you can't use that excuse. Tyler Reddick made up positions. Not as many as you would expect, but he made up positions. Ty Gibbs made up positions. So it wasn't like you couldn't pass. It was just for some reason the Chevys, and specifically William Byron and Chase Elliott, who were the strongest Chevys throughout the day, they were running top 5 all day behind the Toyota. They never had anything for the Toyotas, but they were running up there. They couldn't. I mean, they had terrible finishes, which is a shame because I could sit here. I honestly thought throughout this race I was going to be talking about Chase Elliott. I was going to be like, I didn't think I had any faith in him. And then he was the strongest Hendrick car. He was running top 5 all day. It looks like he's going to, nope, finishes 19th. William Byron, having another fantastic day, could be a car. Nope, finishes 18th. So it's like, it was kind of really harsh for them, but they simply, I don't know if it was a Chevy thing, a setup thing, they could not get their way up through the field. Meanwhile, Bell and the other Toyotas could. So the race plays on. Martrex Jr. was also really strong, but he stayed out. He had to come down pit lane for tires and fuel, and then he's able to actually make his way back up to 7th. So that just shows again how much tire fall off there was. Martrex Jr. leading this race, comes down pit lane, loses a lap, gets his lap back, drives all the way, finishes in the top 10. And I think he pitted with 40 to go. So he had 40 laps of fresh tires to work with, and he was able to drive his way back into the top 10. That's something you kind of see, like, for example, not to the extent, but Richmond has a lot of strong fall off and stuff. So that's the positive, is that this race car at this track had tire fall off. Good. The negative, you still just couldn't really get through that dirty air. You couldn't really battle, especially when you had 2 cars that were really fast. It was hard to do it unless you ran different lines. End of the race kind of plays out. Nothing really happens. Christopher Bell just stomps the field, wins by, I think it's like 7 seconds or something like that. And then we go to the race results right here. So it's Bell, Buescher, Gibbs, Keselowski, Blaney, Chastain, Truex, McDowell, Briscoe, and Reddick. And this running order does not show who was running up front for the majority of the race. So just for example, it was really the front guys. Let's put most of the Toyotas. So let's say Bell, Hamlin, Truex, Gibbs, Reddick. Those 5 Toyotas, Bubba Wallace wasn't really up there all day, so those 5 Toyotas specifically were up there. And then you have guys like Chase Elliott, William Byron, Ryan Blaney a little bit further back, I think. So guys like that running up front towards there. So you can see some of them finished in the top 10, some of them didn't. Some of them, like Tyler Reddick, who finishes 10th, should have been way higher, competing for the win, but he couldn't make his way through traffic. And Martrex Jr. also should have been higher, but strategy kind of messed him up. Christopher Bell and Ty Gibbs finished 1st and 3rd. Real quick, I want to talk about Ty Gibbs because I think he's had a really strong start to the season, and I think I'm telling you guys, I know Toyota was strong today, but Ty Gibbs, he's really, really impressing me. Shout out to Chris Buescher with a 2nd place finish. The flip of the strategy really helped a lot of the Fords to get better finishes, especially RFK with Buescher and Keselowski. They were running okay, but they definitely weren't running top 5. So that flip of strategy helped them. Christopher Bell, strongest car all day. And in my opinion, I've been thinking this for the last 2 years, basically. I think he is the strongest Toyota driver. Denny Hamlin has the experience. Mark Truex Jr. has the experience. And Ty Gibbs is the young one. But Bell is like the not talking about, you know, strongest guy there. Even the post-race interview, they ask him one question, and they're like, okay, congratulations on winning, bye. It was like the quickest post-race interview I've ever seen, like 20 seconds. But he is extremely strong, and if there's any Toyota to make the Final Four, it'd be Bell. If there's any Toyota to win 5, 6, 7 races in the season, it would be Christopher Bell. Super strong, super talented, and I still think he's underrated. I still don't think, when you ask NASCAR fans who's the best drivers out there, they'll say Larson, they'll say Kyle Busch, you know, they will say Ryan Blaney. They'll even throw in Martin Truex Jr. as well, but they usually don't throw in Christopher Bell. And in my opinion, in terms of driver's talent, he's top 3. He's definitely top 3. He is so good. Let's go to the race results, because Sky is continuously yelling at me. Still 11 through 20. Denny Hamlin, Noah Gragson, Daniel Suarez, Kyle Larson. Larson was just quiet all day. Gragson, shout out Gragson. He was one of the guys that kind of got screwed a little bit off of the flip of strategy. He was running top 10 all day. Sky, shut the hell up. He was running top 10 all day. And he ended up finishing 12th. Gragson is really impressing me. Like, he's seriously impressing me. So I might be wrong on that one. Genuinely, I might actually be wrong, because I didn't think he would do anything in that 10 car, and he's doing really well. So I'm close to really holding my hand up and being like, damn, good job, Noah Gragson. I really did not rate him, and it's not just the finishes. Like, he's running well. And that's actually the most important thing, is your performances. Suarez, Larson, Hocevar, Wallace, Gillen, Byron, Elliott, and Bowman. Stenhouse, Kyle Busch, Ryan Preece, Justin Haley. Quick thing on Kyle Busch. I didn't see qualifying because I was watching, obviously, football the majority of the weekend, football. And I saw Kyle Busch and Austin Dillon qualify 30th and 31st. And I'm just like, what the? So, yeah, those RCR cars sucked. Ryan Preece, Justin Haley, JHN, Josh Berry, Harrison Burton, Hemrick, Zane Smith, Kaz Grala, and then Eric Jones, Austin Dillon, LaJoy, Logano, Kraus, and Cindric to end the results. Are you done growling yet? As you guys could probably hear, the dog is very upset, so I'm going to leave you guys to it. Leave your comments down below. An average race. Congratulations to Christopher Bell, but just an average race. 6 out of 10. It's Phoenix. What can you do? Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram already. Subscribe if you're new. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Are you done growling yet? Peace out. You've already pissed them off enough. See, I had to end the video early because you're nonsense. I know you're a king, but you're actually really annoying. But they love you, so it's understandable that you can yell the entire video and you get... and you're talking back at me, okay. You want to talk back? You talk back. It's fine.